Been doing a little thinking. Been reading some of the comments, and I decided maybe I've been a little too rough on Peter Joseph. Maybe. I don't know. Just trying to get the truth. I mean, I believed what he said at one point. I thought it was a relatively reliable source, but now I see that I just don't feel the same way. Well, let's watch another clip. I don't mean to be, I don't want to get a strike. I don't want to be abusive and aggressive. I want to be very thoughtful. Someone who's trying to make simple points. There's no reason to get aggressive. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip from this once again is critique from the TZM official channel by Peter Joseph. Bernie Sanders Inequality in America Town Hall from 3/19/18 by Peter Joseph. Okay, let's listen.
Coming back to that structure, remember, government, even though it makes money out of nothing through its central banks.
What? No. Okay, government does basically make money out of nothing. That's true. Right? It's true. It creates money when it spends money into existence. And then I think it does some securities on it, like it sells the securities and some shit like that. But through its central banks, I mean, what is the central banks? The banks are banks. Through its central banks? That's why is he continuing to tell the same story about the central bankers making the money out of nothing? Because it's the power of Congress to spend money into existence like that. And we know that I made this point in the other video, you got to make the same points again. Just a general point of just Keynesian versus free market economics. Keynesian is closer to, although what you could say we have now is like a Keynesian, a military Keynesianism, where we're spending money into the military, which is all going to the top. So the point is and then he's going to make the point that Bernie Sanders is, if he runs again, liable to be, of course he was C-blocked by Hillary Clinton and the Democratic establishment. We're trying to upset that process. Is it impossible to upset that process? Well, Peter Joseph, I think, is basically saying, that a conflagration of business forces will come together in order to halt, say, Bernie's progress and the progress of the other progressives. But, say, for instance, in 4 years, Uh, I think the younger people were very ready to vote for Bernie Sanders. There's going to be 4 more years worth of young people. There's going to be 4 more years worth of more brown people having children and likely to vote for Democrat or progressive or understand that the idea that the Republican Party can still, oh, am I getting too aggressive? Talking about how the oligarchs have used propaganda to steal first from Bernie and then from her madam. Do I got to keep saying that I'm not a Hillary fan over and over? You know, do people not know where I'm coming from? They don't, because this is a specific. This is specifically what the point of the Russian trolls and Timothy Snyder. I don't have a good Timothy Snyder, but I don't have necessarily. Wait a minute, maybe I do have a good one queued up here. But if I did queue up the one from Timothy Snyder, it would be how we had the same type of. We had this. They had 10 to 12 years ago. He was talking about how in Russia they had the same type of Putin sort of resurrected this one particular fascist dude who had this particular philosophy where you're going back to, and now we're seeing even like Richard Spencer. That's what I was saying. It's like it's micro-targeting all these little groups that are vulnerable. Some are like have leftist anti-war values. Some have racist values, traditionalist values. They're all being targeted with the same message. What is the same message? They're black people they're targeting with this message. The message that politics can never matter will not matter, because that benefits, of course, the libertarians. I was watching this is another excellent show, and this lady right here, her name is
not terrorized. So that's how we not
a certain white cop.
Mirza Baradaran. Mirza Baradaran. Baradaran. But this broad here is a smart broad. Author, The Color of Money, just talking about how the banking system is rigged against black people, like how we could have postal banking. We could have these things that would be good for poor white people, would be good for poor black people, and would be bad for the banks and would not help them acquire more money. We also have, what's her other thing that she was talking about? I forget. It's just like there's all kinds of systemic things that can be done, and that's how like the left and right people are going to come together in this type of coalition. Not one over like let's get rid of the state because the state is so evil, because it's always going to support the capitalist class 100%. I mean, it's just like, and like I said, keep saying this is exactly the same message. And you got to see this one guy. Okay, so we got to go look at it. That's enough of that. We have to go look at this Timothy Snyder, because I think I stopped actually. Let's see where this is at.
Because the greater the income and wealth inequality there is, the harder it is for us.
This is an interesting quote, anyways. Let's see it.
Flipped, except for one, is an opioid crisis. Right. That is how he won the election. He took traditional Republican voters, plus he took people in counties where people are killing themselves or dying of overdoses. So the fact that we let things go the way that we did helped Mr. Trump win, which is, and all of these things are just examples of the larger problem of inequality.
You know, neoliberalism, that's interesting. You know, they talk about it, basically, I talk about being, people don't seem to understand that libertarianism, neoliberalism, fascism, and deregulation really are just, they're all really just words for the same things. Or detaxation, deregulation. I mean, they're not going to, if they're not regulated, they're going to pay fewer fines too. They're going to have, like, basically, it's just like, it means anything that will cost them money. And in this case, where you have these poor white counties, you have them deregulating what the drug companies can do. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like, how is Timothy Snyder? What is the basic reason why Timothy Snyder is reliable and Peter Joseph isn't? Well, Timothy Snyder, like Noam Chomsky, see, he's a Yale professor. That's a big university. That's one of the biggest, most famous universities in the world. You could probably get a job like any, you say, I'm from Yale. People probably give you like a six-figure job like that anywhere. Like before, they'll probably like recruit your ass and try to put you in there. It's like more, you know, it's just like really perpetuates the establishment. But anyways, this guy's, see, that's the thing is, he's like, I was thinking of like Noam Chomsky. It's just like, he's not trying to float any bullshit because he literally couldn't do it. He has all these freaking, all these, all the MIT students are the best and brightest in this Massachusetts. See, it's called like what's it called? Not, well, there's journalistic type review where other journalists can just say you're full of shit, and then you get a reputation as a shitty journalist. That's why CNN and MSNBC and Fox have reputations amongst like the real journalists from the Intercept and the Young Turks and the Sam Sater as, like, you know, basically, even though Sam Sater's on MSNBC, but still they're the unreliable ones who are catering to the you know, the establishment, obviously. And anyway, my point was that I was talking about Noam Chomsky, how he's not going to try to float any bullshit because he's amongst these kids who are just going to like, no, but, wrong, Mr. So it's like, is anyone make clear what I do? I have to put it like draw a face on this or something? Like the difference between something like Peter Joseph, who blocks me in like 5 minutes just because, you know, I mean, it's just like, and it's some, I guess, like, let's take his point. Let's take Peter Joseph's point of I mean, it just doesn't hold water because we know that things were accomplished. And basically, I think the wolves of the people are at the door of capitalism right now, ready to storm the Colosseum. And if the capitalists don't, you know, I mean, that's my whole theory as to why the thing is at the point we're at right now. So I think I made the point. Yeah. Yale. And who really is you know, Peter Joseph, let's take him compared to Jordan Peterson. I mean, who is he with? Yo. He was on the Michael Tracy show. That's an interview he gave. But then again, I don't know if he did the whole angle of like, I think Chris Hedges is on RT2, and also saying no Hillary. So does he just happen to say that? Is Cornel West? If Cornel West is saying what Peter Joseph and Chris Hedges are all saying, that it's pointless to even try to reform that, which they may prove correct. They may prove correct. But I just don't see how destroying the state is the answer. And like I said, Peter Joseph is still spreading the central bank myth. That's really not like, see, yeah, with the job guarantee, we could just print money into existence, and we could start at the local level, forbidding. It is got to have a 50-state strategy where people are aware of the fact that the oil companies just aren't on our side. Got to keep pursuing the. It's tricky, very tricky, because the corporate world does have a stranglehold on the economy. No one's saying they don't, or on the government too, obviously. So, but they've pushed it towards privatization. We got to just, see, even like people make. I'm not going to make that point again, but it has real consequences. Even say all the, of course, Obama did terrible ICE raids. Hillary would probably do terrible ICE raids, but the degree of destruction of the state that's occurring right now is unprecedented, and exactly what the far-right Koch brothers, Tea Party, John Birch Society has been pushing for this whole time, and basically have been working within the, Clinton and Obama are basically as neoliberal, and so I understand how confusing it is for people, but I just see the marks of deception too from Peter Joseph. I mean, if he was more honest about this stuff, I just, as if it was a problem to print, because he's basically saying, oh, we should not, by saying, oh, the central bank prints money out of nothing, or our government prints money out of nothing through the central bank, which basically it is right now. They're loaning it through the Federal Reserve at very low rates, and then people like Jeff Bezos are plowing that into side bets on the real economy called the derivatives market, which is actually several times larger than the actual economy of goods and services that's spread to actual people. And that's why we find it like, these things are scarce, the goods and services that people actually want to have and use. And things that aren't scarce are the money that the 0.1% has and the upper 10% has. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. This is a 20-minute video. And thank you I think I got another subscriber. I thank you so much. Patronize me. I got to work on getting my Patreon account ready. But patronize, comment, like, don't like, do all the things, spread it, put it out there, put it in there. Let me know how you like my new non-aggressive style towards Peter Joseph. I want to end on this one. There's the quote that he, paraphrase a quote where he said that we should celebrate anytime somebody is disillusioned about their ideas about, the world that are incorrect. So I think we should just celebrate everyone's disillusionment who got to see this. So, all right, celebrating.